Right, hello and welcome back for another ICT video. So, I'm just sorting my computer screens out now. Use Zoom for this because it comes out hopefully a little bit clearer. So, third task in ICT test is essentially going to be some form of document creation. Essentially, you can use PowerPoint or you can use Word. It's on your preference. Essentially, I'm going to show you how to do this in PowerPoint. One little tip that we've found doing these throughout time is if you have to do a document in columns, you may find it is more advantageous for you to do that in Word. You can do the columns in PowerPoint, it's fiddly and it doesn't always move the text around, whereas if you do the columns in Word, and there might be a document, we'll come up and do that later on later papers, it makes your life a lot simpler. Yes, you have to play around with pictures a bit more, but it formats everything a lot more pleasantly for you. You haven't got to have so much work or stress on it. Okay, I know some of you would have been on my sessions earlier, and we tried it that way, and it all went horribly wrong. And then I said, right, now we'll put it all into Word. And actually, what took us 15 minutes to struggle with in PowerPoint, in Word we did in about 4 minutes. Okay, so. But again, it's what you are going to be comfortable in. Okay. So I'm going to we need to produce a newsletter, okay? So what we've noticed here is we've got some things going on. We've got some text, charts, lists, and diagrams, all right? So what we will find here is that we've got the text we've got to do. We will have the sales chart, sales graph. We're going to have the sales figures and the map that we did from the screenshotting on the internet task, first of all. Now, as we mentioned earlier on, okay, this was actually this is why I said to you about checking your internet part, all right, to make sure you've got everything you need because you're going to need it. So, again, I invite you just to follow through on the question paper. Again, as I do this, you might find that I don't necessarily 100% follow it exactly, because again, I'm giving you an overview, but what I am putting in is exactly what you do need to put in, okay? Now, what I also need to point out to you is here is this is not something that you're going to spend hours and hours on in terms of making it fantastic and amazing like you might do for your workplace. This is an exam situation. You've got to make it look essentially the basics. What you need, a clean, easy to understand document. Furthermore, in addition, you do not really have the time, so to speak, to spend hours doing this, right? Because you're in that exam situation. So keep it clean, keep it simple, keep it easy. Right, so I'm just going to make sure also, so just ahead of time, I'm going to make sure I've got my Excel documents up ready that I'm going to require. Okay, just quickly, yes, you might have noticed I had that up and that's gone blank. That's because A, it's a separate file, but also because I've played around with here, it alters the graph in here, all right? So don't worry about that. I'm just going to make sure now, before I go any further, just so I have them set up, because again, this is also actually a very good checklist, here we go. I'm going to make sure I've got all the files open I need, because that's also my checklist, okay? And finally, we'll just go back to task 1. Here we go, video, because as you know, we follow through this video. Right, so I've got everything. Okay, well, I'm going to have some fun with this one shortly. So I've opened up PowerPoint. You might find design ideas come up. Please just get rid of it. Yeah, it's just fine for the workplace, but I don't want to see anybody using that in exam because that's not the idea. You're meant to be showing your own work and your own initiative. Right. So first of all, they've just said newsletter. Now, newsletter as a rule is going to be the following. It's going to be on A4 and it's going to be portrait. End of. So let's go to design and we need to change this. So go to design, I go to slide size, I go to custom size, and I'm going to go to portrait and I'm going to go to A4. There you go, setting it up for me. Now, one of the eccentricity of PowerPoint, just a little heads up, I have seen some questions papers out there that want you to do a leaflet in A5. Have you noticed something? There's no A5 here. So there's a little exercise for you. What you can do, open a Word document up. Okay, no check, I've got a Word document, so I'll do it quickly. And if we go to layout, size, we can see there here, they've got the size for A4, it's A5. So just take a quick note of that, that all you then need to do is just transpose it into here. Here you go, you got your A5 done. But we're dealing with A4 now. Here we go. Maximize, yep, done. There you go, I've got my A4 size. Right, now, where's the information that I need? Well, if we look here, they've given information. They've sort of given us the hint. Here we in the question paper, March 2000 newsletter text. That's our information we're going to need. Now they give that to you either in Word or PowerPoint. Sorry, Word or text file. Let's have a quick look. What's it in text? So you have got an advantage with that. It's already part set in Word for you. You can play with that. But let me just show you the other way because this is important. You might find you have to do it with this way. All right. Now, you may sometimes find with this information they put what's called a red herring in, something to slightly mislead you. Okay. Just be mindful of that. And you'll know it's a red herring because it'll be something that's completely irrelevant to what you're doing. So they might talk about something going off here, talking about selling furniture or something like that, or going for a walk in the New Forest. Which point, get rid of that part because you're not going to need it. But now we need to think about what we're going to call this to start off with. So insert. I'm just going to put this over here for the moment. Text box, and we're going to call this, what's it, March 2010 newsletter. Yeah. Conference, and I can't spell conference today. It's one of those days. So what I'm going to do, so a little tip here, is I'm slowly going to bring the text across and we'll line it up. So I've done my titles there. I'm just going to put that in bold. But I'm going to play with the size later on that. Now what I'm going to do is actually bring my text across because this is giving me an idea then how much space I've got to play with. And you'll see why I'm on that about in a minute. So I've done that. Copy. Insert text box. Now it's got a little bit off the screen there, don't worry, pull it back in. Now the reason we're doing it this way is, bear in mind, we've got to fit some pictures in here. So if we actually just start to do a little bit of line up now, we're going to get ourselves a little bit ahead of the game. So here we go, I'm going to put that there. Sales targets. Now, I can easily go, why don't you just put all into one text box? I will show you in a minute why I'm doing it this way. So here we go. And again, I'm just going to line it up. So I've got it in nice little boxes ready to go. I mean, so this might seem a bit fussy, but there's a method in Maths Madness. Okay. So I'm just going to use the L format painter trick there just to shrink that down for me. Okay. Okay, what you can think about is if you thinking a little bit back, you will notice that our pictures, or our two little chart or table we saw earlier with the sales figures below 10% was one shape and the graph was another. Does that start to settle in? Okay, that's why we're doing it this way. So here we go. Format. Here we go. So let's just move this in a little bit. So first of all, we have got to bring in a graph, and it's the graph that we had from our exercise here. So let's see if I've got the right one. Here we go. I don't want that one. I told you this was live and anything can happen. So I'm just going to knock that one out a moment. Actually, yeah, that's fine. And I'm just going to bring in, because again, I slightly opened the wrong task. It doesn't matter. I told you this is a live performance and anything can happen. There we go, I've got everything. Now, this is the graph I need to import in. Click on it, right click, copy, minimize down, go to your PowerPoint, right click, and bring in this picture. Why? Okay, if I just bring it like this, okay, it's I've done it there. But you might find sometimes the formatting all changes. Okay, it's not going to do it here. But if you bring this as a picture, probably going to see, probably won't do it. What you tend to find is this can sometimes crunch down and becomes unreadable. So what I always suggest is copy it in as a picture. All right, paste it as a picture. And then because you shrink down, you're not going to lose any of the definition. All right. So we've got here, that's our graph. We need this chart. Now you can see it's a slightly different shape, but what I'm doing is highlighting it, clicking on copy. I'm going to paste. Now you see it's a different size and it's long. So that, I'm going to do that, okay? So there we go, there's a little chart that we need from there. And then we need to bring in the map from the sales conference. Where they're going to have it. Okay. So I'm going to bring this in now, copy. And I'm going to paste it. Different size. And we've got bits on it. So crop. Right. Remember, a lot of ICT is about presentation. It's got to look the part. All right. So here, I'm just having a bit of fun with my crop here. It's like most things, as it's live, it doesn't always want to work correct. That's what I would like to. There we go. So there we go. Now, one thing that I might do here is just size that up so that is the same size, roughly, as my graph there. Okay. I can't get it perfect, but that's a little bit of practice because it just makes it look that little bit neater and tidier. Okay. That just comes from me designing web pages years back for something I was involved in. Okay. Now, as you can also see, what I've also got some advantages here is that PowerPoint here is giving me some guidance. Okay. Now, the observant amongst you, have you noticed that I've missed something out? Hopefully you're all crying to me, Matt, you've not put the footer in. Insert, header and footer, footer, put name in, and click on apply to all. Now, why? Because if you find yourself saying you have to do slides one day and a presentation, if you put apply to all, it actually puts the footer in every single slide. So you haven't got to keep repeating, copy and pasting it. Okay, top little tip. Right, so we've got our basics here. So I'm just going to do a bit tidying up, bold, like so. Okay, I might just actually want to check. We've got the buffer the same size, that one down there. Yep. Again, I can use my format painter here if I want. Voila. And I can use the same there again as well. Now, personal preference, that looks a little bit jagged there. So what I could do is I could just do justification. Makes it all look a little bit neater. Okay, bring that up. There we go. And you can see you're getting some ideas with the line there because that the red line we've got there, just on the left and right, is helping you line up with what's on the top. Okay. Now, I'm not quite happy with that. So I'm just going to bring that in a little bit. There we go. I've got myself lined up. There we go. And it's just silly little things like that that just make the difference because they're looking for your presentation, how you line things up, and how much white space you got like that. I mean, you can't necessarily get these always looking so fantastic and really flashy because they're not designed to be that. They're there to be plain and basic. I mean, so if you wanted something just to look a little bit more, we could just actually put the fill color here. If it let me do it, it's probably going to be all the film right in front of me, can't see it. I could do that, and I can make the text white like that. So that gives a little bit more presence, okay? Something that stands out. So those who are doing English reading, could documents talking about a document, organizational features. Here's a good organizational feature for you, big standout title. Okay, that's a nice little way of doing it. But also what I've tried to do as well is line everything up. So we've got text as much as one side, pictures another. You could move them around, up to you, it's your document, but this is just for me, again, from years of doing things like this in other roles in terms of producing newsletters for organizations I've been involved in. I try to keep everything sort of neat as possible, so everybody knows that they're going to have stuff to read on the right, left, for example, pictures on the right. This bit you can't because of that, which is fine. So we've just moved that across a little bit. Here we go. I've got my center bit there now. So there we go. And again, I just need to call that meaningful name, save as. Where are we? Task 3, paper 1. Okay, and what did I call this? Okay, so I'm going to call this March 2010. What did I actually call it? I'm just going to go right, calling the right name for you, so then you can actually see it in the actual. That's in March. Okay, 2010 newsletter, like so. I'm just going to put video. All right, there we go. I'm in the right bit. Save. Done. Now, the other bit you might find that you sometimes get asked is if you have to print off, print, and then select printer. If you are asked to do like full notes or handouts, that's another favorite one. If you go to settings, sorry, yeah, hang on, it's there, full page size. Here we go. This is the option you have for handouts. All right, so keep this one in mind. You may occasionally have it, so you can then select here, and then it will do the handouts option for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's a brief overview for that. I hope you have found that of use and help. Gives you some guidance. Again, think presentation. What does it look like? All right, that is what's going to sell it for you, and that's hopefully what's going to get you points. So again, any questions, queries, let David and myself know, or you've got your tutors as guidance. So in the meantime, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Thank you for watching, and see you on another video soon. Thank you.